At this point, if you have watched Oshi anime or you have read the manga, you would know that this series heavily focuses on the dark reality of the entertainment industry. This includes the characters as well, because I feel like Oshi characters are a great representation on some of the things that people have to go through when being in the entertainment industry. Regardless of who you are, there's always some things bound to happen that isn't always going to be great when you are in this industry. And one of the characters that we'll be focusing on today is Kana Arima, one of the main characters of Oshi. What makes her character really impactful is because of the things she had to go through in order to become an actress, but not only that, what she had to deal with while being an actress in the entertainment industry, which sadly isn't far off reality, because I feel like some of the things that happen to Kana can also happen to somebody in real life as well. That's what we'll be talking about in today's video. Now, like always, I'm going to give a spoiler warning because I am going to be talking about things that happen in the manga series. So if you're not up to date with the manga, or you're anime only and you wish to only watch the anime, then you have been warned, because this is going to contain spoilers of events that happen in the Oshi manga. So with that out of the way, let's just begin. Kana Arima at a very young age did not have your typical childhood. You see, at a very young age, she was already a child actor who was not only popular, but it was very clear that she was making a big impact because of her acting. Many people found it amazing how such a young age she was able to be a really good actress, and very quickly goes to show us that Kana was very passionate and clearly took acting very seriously. But because she was getting so popular and many people adored her, of course Kana would develop an ego, which is not really surprising considering the fact that A, she was just a kid, and B, she got popular very quickly, so obviously she felt very special whenever people praised her and told her she was a great actress. But sadly, as time went on and Kana was growing up, it was very clear that her fame was soon starting to fade away, and it was very clear that moment that she wasn't getting a lot of job offers, and now she was doing acting roles that weren't either big or weren't going to leave a huge impact into her acting career. And this is just the first example of the dark reality of being an actor slash actress. It was very clear that in these moments, Kana's fame was starting to fade away, and she was just only known as the childhood actor that was really good back in the day. And that is the sad reality with being an actor slash actress, because you have to find some sort of way to still be relevant and for people to still talk about you. But of course, in order for that to happen, there still need to be a ton of job offers that people are offering you in order to still be relevant. But some cases, like I mentioned earlier, not everybody has that case, in which sometimes someone can be famous for a long period of time, but slowly and surely their fame will slowly fade away, and the next thing you know, a new group of actors and actresses come and take your place, and then they're the ones that are being mostly talked about, and it's very clear that they're the ones who are now more famous. I know for a lot of people it sucks, especially for the people who are in this industry, but it is a very tough competition and everyone clearly is competing to be at the very top, and that is something that Kana experiences firsthand and recognizes very quickly just the hardships of being an actress. The next moment in Oshi that shows us just how hard it is being an actress is during the entertainment world arc, in which Kana is starting on a show that is based on the shoujo manga that's being adapted. However, very quickly we are soon to find out that the show wasn't great, and it was very clear that the show wasn't clearly adapting the manga correctly. But even still, Kana was still trying her best. Unfortunately, the people behind this show weren't the same as Kana, because they clearly were not interested in taking this seriously, as the reason why the show was even made to begin with was because for A, a quick profit, but also B, for promotional material as well. And this is a great example of, once again, the things that the actors and actresses have to deal with while on set. Sometimes they may have the talent and it's very clear they're passionate on the things they do, but clearly if the higher ups aren't interested in any of that sort of thing and they just want to make a quick profit, talent is something that may not be necessary in order to be part of this industry, which I know for a lot of people is shocking. But you'd be surprised how many people don't have talent but are still big in the entertainment industry, and the reason being is very simple. It's because they have connections. Meanwhile, the people who are actually putting effort and are clearly passionate on the things they do, they get screwed over because the people behind the series or the higher ups are clearly having different priorities and don't care about talent whatsoever. I know some people are going to say that at the end of the day, this is all about money and how money is pretty much the main priority for these people, and I get that. I get that money is important and clearly money is a huge factor on these kind of things. But then it becomes really annoying that if a series doesn't do well or a movie completely sucks, the people in charge of all this act all surprised and they weren't expecting that kind of outcome. It's like, what did you expect? clearly there was no passion or creativity, and people clearly saw that. So of course you're not going to make a lot of money. In fact, in most cases when that happens, the company or the higher ups lose a lot of money because of it. So yeah, whenever stuff like this happens, it really is unfortunate for the actors who actually are putting effort, because at the end of the day, they're the ones who are also affected by it. They are the ones who are also going to get criticized. Even in some cases, it may not be entirely their fault as to why the project didn't do well. But I think one of the biggest moments in Kana's character was when we finally found out about her past and why she even entered the entertainment industry to begin with. Why did she want to become an actress? Well, once you find out, you actually do feel sympathy for Kana and everything that she went through, because we come to find out that Kana's mom's dream was to become an actress. As a result of this, she pressured her own daughter, this being Kana, to join the entertainment industry and to become an actress. That is the whole reason why Kana is even in this industry. It's not because she wanted to or this was her main dream to begin with. No, it's because her mother pressured her and forced her pretty much to be in this industry in order to become a very successful actress. And for a while it did work. Kana was very popular and she was becoming very well known in the entertainment industry. But as time went on, and like I mentioned earlier, Kana started to lose her fame and she clearly was fading away from the public. This is where clearly the relationship between her and her mother showed that it wasn't great, and it was very clear that her mother was just using Kana, which is really sad to see, because it clearly shows us that Kana clearly was trying hard for her mother, because as she stated in these moments is that Kana's mother was very happy whenever Kana was really doing well and when she was popular. But as soon as she lost her popularity and she was fading away, Kana's mom started to become neglectful. She started to lose interest in her daughter, to the point where she even left her own daughter all alone, and at that point Kana now had to survive all on her own. She no longer had someone there by her side. Not to mention as well that even her own agency, her manager, even left her as well as soon as she was losing popularity. So yeah, it's a very clear case of people taking advantage of Kana. Clearly everyone had their own reasons why they wanted to stick by Kana. It was for very selfish reasons. Just like the other examples, this is not far from reality, as we all have heard the stories of child actors not having great experiences in this entertainment industry. In Kana's case, she felt that she was responsible for making sure that she did everything perfect and everything had to be great, because for her, if she didn't do great, she didn't want to see her mother sad, which is a very terrible mindset for a kid to have, having to always be perfect in order to make your parents happy. That is something that really just goes to show us that Kana's mom wasn't a great mother because of everything that she put Kana through. Like, it's very sad to see just what Kana had to deal with at just a very young age and how much pressure she was put into being perfect no matter what. And this is something that a lot of people have always talked about with child actors, is the fact that while yes, there are some who dream of becoming a very well-known celebrity and want to become famous, stuff like that, there are still some child actors who clearly didn't want to be in this industry, but because they were pressured by their parents, whether it's because they want the fame or money or they wanted their kid to fulfill the dreams that they never got to achieve. It's an unfortunate thing that does happen, because sadly the kid doesn't have a choice, because all the choices that are being made are up to the parents. And obviously because they're kids, they're obviously going to trust their parents more, because everyone at some point in their life has trusted their parents, thinking that they know what's best for them. And because of those reasons, some parents take advantage of that, knowing full well that their kid's going to do something that they may not be a huge fan of, but if they have a lot of trust in their parents, they're going to still do it anyways. And that's exactly what happened with Kana. She trusted her mother, she cared for her mother, she thought that her mother knew what she was doing, she thought her mother was doing all this for the best for her. But that is sadly not the case, as she was more focused on the things she wanted to do rather than focusing on what her child wanted to do. And it's really sad to see. It really is. You get angry at this fact is because you know that there are parents out there in the world that do this. They force their kids into doing things that they probably didn't want to begin with, then they just leave them as soon as they are no longer necessary for them. It just sucks, but it's sometimes the hard truth. That's really what makes the story of Oshi no Ko really impactful, is because while yes, some of the things that happen in the series aren't great, but it's things that happen in real life as well. And I know there's people that always try to forget about these kind of things. They like to pretend that this stuff isn't happening, but it does happen. And yeah, that's pretty much the entire video. I am curious as to what's going to happen to Kana now, because if you have read the most recent chapters of Oshi no Ko, then you would know that recently Kana has left the idol group that she was with Ruby to focus on her acting. So yeah, I'm curious as to what's going to happen with Kana now, because the story is getting really interesting now, but we'll just have to wait and see. And with that, that's pretty much the entire video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.